As one of God's chosen, you have been entrusted with an extraordinary gift, divine vision. This is not merely the ability to see the world as it is a deep and profound perception that enables you to understand the unseen workings of God's grand design. In life, we often encounter moments that seem confusing, overwhelming, or even hopeless. Yet, through divine vision, you are able to see the greater purpose behind these moments. This gift goes beyond the limitations of the human eye, allowing you to witness the spiritual truths that lie hidden beneath the surface of everyday life. It is through this divine sight that we can align our actions with God's will, fulfilling our divine purpose. There are times in life when you may find yourself standing at a crossroads, unsure of the path to take. You might have noticed moments where, despite the chaos around you, you felt an inexplicable sense of clarity. It was as though the fog lifted, revealing a path forward when others were lost in confusion. This is the power of divine vision. It allows you to see not just the physical, material world, but also the spiritual realm. In those moments of doubt or fear, this gift opens your eyes to the deeper truths that are often hidden from human perception. Through divine vision, you begin to see the presence of God in every situation, an omnipresent hand guiding you toward growth, transformation, and service. As believers, we often speak of faith as trusting in what we cannot see. Yet divine vision is not just about blind faith, it is about trust in God's plan that transcends our understanding. It is a unique gift that allows you to interpret life's events not simply as they appear in the natural world, but as a tapestry woven with divine threads. Through this vision, you see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for spiritual growth. Trials become stepping stones, setbacks become moments for refining character, and every difficulty becomes a chance to witness God's grace at work in our lives. The Bible provides countless examples of how divine vision transcends the limitations of human sight. One such story is found in the book of 2 Kings. The prophet Elisha, a man of great faith, was surrounded by an enemy army with his servant. When the servant saw the multitude of soldiers, he was filled with fear and anxiety, seeing only the danger before him. But Elisha, with the clarity of divine vision, reassured his servant, saying, "Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." 2 Kings 6 verse 16. In this moment of despair, Elisha prayed for God to open his servant's eyes, and suddenly the servant saw the hills filled with horses and chariots of fire, God's heavenly army, standing guard over them. This biblical account highlights the transformative power of divine vision. It is a vision that goes beyond human limitations, revealing a deeper spiritual reality that transcends the material world. While the servant only saw the physical threat, Elisha was able to see the truth beyond the surface, understanding that God's protection was greater than any earthly enemy. Divine vision helps you, too, to see beyond your immediate circumstances, offering a glimpse of God's greater plan, which is often hidden from plain sight. In your daily life, divine vision will manifest in many ways. Perhaps you have experienced moments when you knew exactly how to comfort someone in distress, even before they spoke. Maybe, in times of confusion, you found yourself making decisions that seemed illogical to others, but in your heart, you knew they were aligned with God's will. These moments are all reflections of divine vision at work in your life. It helps you navigate the complexities of the world with wisdom and insight, recognizing God's presence in every situation, even when others are unaware. The Bible also speaks of the importance of wisdom and discernment in our spiritual walk. In James 1 verse 5, it says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him." Divine vision is not just about seeing, it is about understanding. It equips you with the wisdom to discern the greater meaning behind life's circumstances, helping you to make decisions that are in alignment with God's plan. This wisdom is not always about logic or reason, it often requires the eyes of faith. It is through divine vision that you are able to discern God's hand in everything, seeing opportunities for growth where others might see only difficulty. It is through this divine vision that we learn to see trials not as signs of failure, but as opportunities to grow in faith. Each difficulty, no matter how great, is a moment for God to refine us. Just as the Bible tells us in Romans 5 verse 34, not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. With divine vision, we can see the work God is doing within us, transforming us through our trials to become more like Him. This vision helps us to perceive our challenges as part of God's refining process, molding us into vessels of honor for His use. Moreover, divine vision gives us a sense of purpose. As followers of Christ, we are called not only to understand God's will, but to act upon it, to be His instruments in the world. This vision is not given for our benefit alone, but for the benefit of those around us. It is through this vision that we are called to serve others, helping them to see the truth, guiding them to a closer relationship with God, and leading them to the light of Christ. The Apostle Paul writes in 2 Corinthians 4 verse 56, "For what we proclaim is not ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord, with ourselves as your servants for Jesus' sake. For God, who said, 'Let light shine out of darkness,' has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ." When we live with divine vision, we are not simply living for ourselves, but for the benefit of others, acting as beacons of God's light in a dark world. However, this gift comes with a great responsibility. Divine vision is not just a tool for personal enlightenment, it is a sacred trust that must be stewarded wisely. In order to sharpen our spiritual sight, we must stay connected to God. The more we seek Him through prayer, the more clearly we will see His plan for our lives. In Psalm 119 verse 105, the psalmist declares, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." The Bible is our guide, and through it we find the wisdom and clarity to walk in the light of God's will. Divine vision also requires patience and trust. In life there will be times when the path seems unclear, and we may wonder if we are on the right track. During these moments it is essential to wait on God and trust that He is leading us. Proverbs 3 verse 56 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." Trusting God's plan, even when it seems hidden, is a crucial part of living with divine vision. Finally, to fully embrace this gift of divine vision, you must nurture your relationship with God. Spend time in prayer, ask Him to open your eyes, and seek His wisdom. Let the Holy Spirit guide you, revealing to you the hidden truths that the world cannot see. As you grow in your relationship with God, your vision will grow clearer, and you will be better able to discern His will in every area of your life. In conclusion, divine vision is a profound gift that allows you to see beyond the physical and into the spiritual. It is a vision that aligns your life with God's will, guiding you toward your divine purpose. Through it, you are equipped to navigate life's challenges, recognize God's presence in every situation, and serve others with wisdom and love. But this gift comes with a responsibility to cultivate your relationship with God, to seek His guidance, and to trust in His perfect plan. May you continue to walk in the light of divine vision, seeing the world through God's eyes, with love, faith, and trust in His unshakable plan. Embracing divine vision, a path of faith, creation, and resilience. Are you prepared to embrace the extraordinary gift that God has given you? Are you ready to see the world not simply as it appears, but as it could be through the lens of God's boundless love and eternal purpose? Divine vision is not just a blessing, it is a profound calling to action, an invitation to align yourself with God's higher plans. As believers, we are called to become vessels of this divine vision, to lead, guide, and inspire a world often lost in the darkness of uncertainty and fear. Through this sacred vision, you hold the power to uplift, transform, and breathe hope into the lives of others. This is not only a vision of sight, but of understanding, seeing beyond the present and grasping the eternal purposes that God has laid out for us. The power of divine vision allows you to walk boldly in the path that God has set before you, trusting that He will reveal the right steps in His perfect timing. It is not always an easy journey. Often, His guidance may defy logic or challenge societal norms. But remember, as the Scripture assures us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." Isaiah 55 verse 8. In times of doubt or confusion, cling to the truth that God's vision for you is far greater than what you can see or understand in the moment. Trust in His timing and His ways, knowing that He is orchestrating all things for your good and His glory. Romans 8 verse 28. This vision is the lens through which you can discern not only the immediate, but the eternal. When you face challenges or seemingly insurmountable obstacles, let God's vision for your life lead you beyond the present trials. Just as Jesus walked on water in the midst of a storm to reach His disciples, Matthew 14 verse 22-33, He calls you to rise above your fears and doubts, walking by faith, not by sight. Embrace this divine calling with courage, knowing that through God all things are possible. Philippians 4 verse 13. One of the most extraordinary gifts God gives His children is the power of creation. This divine gift is far more than the act of simply bringing something into existence. It is the profound ability to infuse life, purpose, and meaning into all that you touch. Creation is not confined to artistic expression or physical constructs alone. It is the ability to innovate, dream, and build with a heart that reflects God's glory and fulfills His divine plan. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1 verse 1. And as His image bearers, we too are called to co-create with Him, shaping the world in ways that reflect His beauty, order, and purpose. Have you ever paused to consider the boundless potential within you to bring new ideas, solutions, and opportunities into the world? This is the gift of divine creation, the capacity to make a difference, to inspire others, and to shape a future that aligns with God's will. When you create, you participate in the ongoing work of restoration that God began at creation and continues to unfold throughout history. Consider the story of Bezalel, the craftsman chosen by God to build the tabernacle, where God filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills. Exodus 31 verse 3. His creations were not merely practical, they were infused with divine purpose, reflecting God's holiness and splendor. In the same way, your creative power is not just about producing something tangible. It is about pouring God's love and wisdom into your work. Whether you are an artist, a leader, a parent, or an entrepreneur, your creativity is a reflection of God's nature, bringing light and hope into the world. This gift of divine creation also empowers you to navigate through the challenges you encounter. When obstacles arise, God grants you the creativity to find solutions, often in ways that surpass human understanding. Have you ever faced a challenge, and out of nowhere, a solution emerged that seemed almost miraculous in its simplicity and effectiveness? That is the divine gift of creation at work, enabling you to dream beyond what is possible and to carry out plans that align with God's divine purpose for your life. Creation is not only about bringing new things into being, but also about resilience, the strength to rebuild, renew, and restore. Resilience is a divine gift, a spiritual muscle that enables you to rise above adversity and emerge stronger after every setback. It is the ability to persevere when the world tells you to give up, and the courage to continue walking in faith when the path ahead seems uncertain. As God's chosen people, resilience is woven into the fabric of our being. It is the divine strength that empowers us to endure trials, to grow through them, and to shine even brighter in the face of adversity. Consider the story of Job, a man who endured unimaginable suffering and loss. Despite losing everything, his wealth, his health, and even his family, Job's faith remained unwavering. His resilience became a testament to God's grace and faithfulness. In the end, God restored everything Job had lost, blessing him even more abundantly than before. Job 42 verse 10. Job's story is a powerful reminder that resilience is not simply about surviving hardship, it is about growing through it, finding strength in God's promises, and using the lessons learned to inspire others. The Apostle Paul also speaks to the power of resilience in his letter to the Corinthians, writing, "We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." 2 Corinthians 4 verse 89. Paul's words reflect the unshakable faith that comes from trusting in God's sovereign will, even in the face of great trials. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or hardship. It is about embracing God's strength in the midst of it, knowing that He will never leave or forsake us. Hebrews 13 verse 5. As you walk this journey of faith, embracing the divine vision God has for you, know that He has equipped you with the ability to create, innovate, and rebuild in ways that bring His glory to the world. Trust in His plan, lean on His strength, and remember that through His vision, you can accomplish the extraordinary. Let your life be a testament to His love, His power, and His unyielding faithfulness. May you walk boldly in the light of His divine vision, knowing that the best is yet to come. Are you ready to fully embrace these divine gifts, to create with purpose, to rise with resilience, and to shine as a beacon of hope and inspiration in a world that so desperately needs it? God has equipped you with everything you need to fulfill your calling. Trust in His provision, lean on His strength, and know that with Him, all things are possible. Let the gifts of creation and resilience guide you as you step into the fullness of His plan for your life, knowing that you are chosen, empowered, and deeply loved. The road ahead may not always be easy, but with God's presence, every step you take is part of a greater story, one that brings light to the world and fulfills your divine purpose. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties. It's about trusting that God is with you in the midst of them, providing the strength and wisdom you need to persevere. As Psalm 46 verse 1 reminds us, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Both creation and resilience are gifts that work hand in hand, enabling you to build a life that reflects God's glory and to rebuild when life's storms threaten to tear it down. These gifts are not just for your benefit, but for the greater good of those around you, calling you to trust in God's plan, embrace your divine purpose, and use your talents and strengths to make a difference in the world. They are a testament to His love and faithfulness, empowering you to rise above challenges and to walk boldly in the path He has set before you, knowing that He is always by your side, guiding you every step of the way. In your own life, resilience might look like finding the courage to start over after a loss, the determination to pursue your dreams despite setbacks, or the faith to trust in God's plan even when it seems unclear. It is the inner strength that allows you to face adversity with grace and confidence, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity for growth and transformation. Resilience is not just about bouncing back. It's about pressing forward with a heart full of trust in God's plan, even when it's not immediately visible. Have you ever noticed how your resilience inspires those around you, showing them that with God, all things are possible? This divine resilience is a gift that transforms not only your life but also the lives of those you touch. It encourages others to stand firm in their own trials, trusting that God is working all things for good. Your ability to overcome challenges serves as a beacon of hope for others, reminding them that they too can rise above their circumstances. When you stand firm in the face of adversity, you demonstrate the unshakable power of faith, encouraging others to trust in God's promises and to find their own strength in Him. The power of resilience also equips you to embrace change and adapt to life's uncertainties. It allows you to see beyond the immediate struggle to the greater purpose that lies ahead. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to deepen your faith and to witness God's handiwork in your life. As you rise above the storm, you become a testimony to God's sustaining grace and an example of His unyielding love. As one of God's chosen, you are endowed with a profound and transformative gift, the power of influence. This gift extends far beyond mere persuasion or leadership. It is the ability to inspire, uplift, and guide others toward their divine purpose. Influence, when rooted in God's wisdom and love, becomes a tool for bringing light into dark places and fostering positive change in the world around you. It is the power to create ripples of transformation, touching lives in ways that are both seen and unseen. The impact of your influence can be felt not only in the lives of those close to you, but also in the broader world, as you stand firm in your faith and live out God's calling on your life. Have you ever considered how your words, actions, and presence impact those around you? Influence is not about wielding authority for personal gain, it is about reflecting God's heart in all that you do. Like King Solomon, whose wisdom attracted leaders from far and wide, your influence is a reflection of the divine light within you. Solomon's discernment and integrity made him a beacon of hope and justice, and his leadership shaped the destiny of a nation. In the same way, your influence has the potential to transform lives, families, and even communities. The way you live, speak, and interact with others can ignite a spark of hope, healing, and restoration in those who need it most. This divine power of influence manifests in countless ways through acts of kindness, words of encouragement, and the quiet strength of your character. It is seen when you choose compassion over judgment, truth over compromise, and love over indifference. Influence does not always require grand gestures. Sometimes, the smallest acts of faith and kindness can have the most profound impact. Have you ever noticed how a simple word of encouragement can reignite hope in someone who felt lost? The power of your words and deeds can break through barriers and touch hearts in ways you may never fully understand, but trust that they are planting seeds of change that will grow and bloom in God's perfect timing. Your influence is not just a gift, it is a responsibility to lead others toward truth, healing, and grand growth. In addition to influence, God has also gifted you with the extraordinary power of healing. This divine gift is not limited to physical ailments, it encompasses emotional, spiritual, and relational restoration. Healing is an act of love that brings wholeness to those who are broken, peace to those who are troubled, and hope to those who are weary. It is a sacred calling that reflects God's mercy and compassion, allowing you to be a vessel through which His love flows. Healing is not just about fixing what is broken, it is about being present with those who are hurting, offering them comfort and strength through God's love. To carry out these divine missions of influence and healing, God equips you with another indispensable gift: courage. This power is not mere human bravery, it is a divine strength that enables you to face fear, overcome adversity, and stand firm in your faith. Courage is the fuel that propels you forward when the path ahead seems uncertain or overwhelming. It is the unshakable trust in God's promises that allows you to step boldly into the unknown, knowing that He is with you every step of the way. Think of David, the young shepherd who faced the giant Goliath with nothing but a sling, 5 stones, and his faith in God. David's courage did not come from his physical strength or battle experience, it came from his unwavering belief that God would deliver him. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine, David declared in 1 Samuel 17 verse 37. His victory was not just a triumph over a physical enemy, it was a testament to the power of courage rooted in faith. In your own life, the power of courage may manifest in different ways. It might look like standing up for what is right, even when it is unpopular. It might mean taking a leap of faith into a new opportunity, trusting that God will guide you. Or it could be as simple yet profound as choosing to trust in God's timing when everything within you wants to rush ahead. Courage is the ability to remain steadfast, to hold on to hope, and to keep moving forward no matter the obstacles in your way. Courage is also contagious. When you act with boldness and faith, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes a light that illuminates the path for those who are struggling, showing them that with God, all things are possible. Have you ever noticed how your willingness to take a stand can embolden others to find their own strength? This is the power of courage at work, multiplying its impact and creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond what you can see. But courage, like all divine gifts, requires trust. Do you trust that God is with you, even in the face of fear? Do you believe that He has equipped you with everything you need to fulfill your calling? Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite it, anchored in the knowledge that God's power is greater than any challenge you may face. Consider the story of Elisha, the prophet who healed Naaman, a commander suffering from leprosy. Through Elisha's obedience to God, Naaman experienced not only physical healing, but also spiritual renewal, recognizing the power and sovereignty of God. In the same way, your gift of healing extends beyond the surface, reaching deep into the hearts and souls of those you touch. Whether it is through a comforting word, a listening ear, or an intercessory prayer, your actions carry the transformative power of God's love. Healing is not always dramatic or immediate. Sometimes it is a gradual process that requires patience, faith, and unwavering compassion. Have you ever been the source of comfort for someone going through a difficult time? Your presence, your prayers, and your willingness to stand by them are acts of healing that can change lives. As James 5 verse 16 reminds us, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Your prayers carry the weight of God's authority, bringing restoration and renewal to those who need it most. Yet the power of healing is not only for others, it is also a gift for yourself. As you extend compassion and grace to those around you, you invite God's healing into your own life. The act of healing becomes a mutual exchange, a divine dance where both giver and receiver are transformed by the love of God. Have you ever experienced moments when, in helping someone else heal, you found your own heart mended? This is the beauty of God's design, where healing flows in all directions, leaving no one untouched by His grace. Together, the powers of influence, healing, and courage form a divine trifecta that equips you to navigate life with purpose and impact. These gifts are not given for your benefit alone, they are entrusted to you so that you may be a blessing to others, a reflection of God's love and glory. Are you ready to embrace these gifts fully, to use your influence to lead with integrity, your healing to restore with compassion, and your courage to stand boldly in faith? With these divine powers, you are not only equipped to fulfill your calling, but also to inspire and uplift those around you, shining as a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. Faith, the final gift in this divine triad, is the cornerstone of your spiritual journey. Faith is more than just a belief, it is a deep, unwavering trust in God's promises, even when everything around you seems uncertain or chaotic. It is this trust that gives you the strength to persevere through the darkest times, knowing that God is with you, guiding you every step of the way. Just as Abraham, the father of faith, stepped out in obedience without knowing where he was going, trusting only in God's word, so too are you called to walk by faith. Abraham's journey wasn't without hardship, and neither will yours be, but his faith was rooted in the unshakable belief that God would fulfill His promises. This same faith empowers you to face life's most daunting challenges, to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable, and to hold on to hope even when the road ahead is unclear. Faith is not a passive belief that sits quietly in your heart, it is an active force that transforms your life and the world around you. It calls you to step beyond your comfort zone, to trust God's timing even when it doesn't align with your own, and to endure when the journey gets tough. Have you ever faced a moment when it seemed like everything was against you, yet an inner assurance, a quiet whisper of peace, reminded you that things would work out? That is the power of faith, the deep, divine gift that sustains you when your strength falters and your sight dims. Faith doesn't just carry you through the storm, it allows you to find peace and purpose in the midst of it. Among the divine gifts bestowed upon God's chosen, love stands as the most transformative and all-encompassing force. Love is the most profound of all gifts, transcending mere emotions or sentiments. It is the very essence of God's nature, flowing freely to and through His people. When we speak of divine love, we are not talking about a fleeting feeling, but about a radical, selfless force that can heal wounds, restore relationships, and bring light into even the darkest places. This love is what connects us to God and to each other. It is not about how we feel in the moment, but about choosing to reflect God's heart in everything we do. Through love, You have the power to heal the brokenness around you. It enables you to see others not through the lens of their flaws or failures, but through the eyes of God, who sees them as beings of infinite worth. Love is the bridge that connects hearts, the balm that mends wounds, and the light that dispels darkness. Jesus Christ is the perfect example of this love, showing us how to love unconditionally. His ministry was a ministry of love. He embraced the marginalized, extended grace to sinners, and ultimately laid down his life for humanity. In loving others as Christ loved, you become a vessel of his grace, sharing his compassion and mercy with those who need it the most. This love is boundless. It is not contingent upon how others treat us. It is radical and selfless, and it reflects God's own heart. It empowers you to forgive when it feels impossible, to extend kindness to those who might not deserve it, and to choose unity over division. True love breaks down barriers and builds up those who have been cast aside. Have you ever experienced the profound impact of love in your own life? Perhaps a simple word of encouragement lifted you when you were at your lowest, or a small act of kindness reignited your hope when it was about to fade. These moments remind us that love is not just transformative, it is contagious. When you choose to love, you invite others to do the same, creating ripples of kindness and grace that extend far beyond your immediate circle. Love is the foundation of all the divine gifts, the core from which your influence, healing, and courage flow. Without love, all other gifts lose their true purpose and meaning. Wisdom, courage, and even faith are all grounded in love, for it is love that aligns your actions with God's greater plan. Love gives context to all other divine gifts and ensures that they are used to build up, not tear down, to restore, not to destroy. Without love, even the most extraordinary powers are empty and hollow. It is love that drives you to use your gifts in service to others, to seek justice and mercy in all your dealings, and to reflect God's heart in everything you do. Wisdom, another profound gift, complements love by guiding your thoughts and decisions with clarity and discernment. Wisdom helps you see beyond the surface of life's challenges, guiding you to understand the deeper truths that often lie hidden beneath the obvious. It helps you make decisions that align with God's justice and mercy, and it empowers you to influence the world around you in ways that reflect His will. Wisdom helps you navigate life's complexities, ensuring that you act with discernment, integrity, and purpose. King Solomon, renowned for his divine wisdom, is a powerful example of how wisdom can guide us in the most challenging of situations. When faced with a difficult dispute, Solomon's God-given wisdom revealed the truth and brought peace where there had been conflict. His wisdom wasn't simply intellectual knowledge, it was a deep understanding of God's will and a desire to act in ways that honored Him. Similarly, you are called to use the gift of wisdom to navigate life's complexities, resolve conflicts, and lead with fairness and justice. Wisdom isn't just for personal gain, it is meant to be shared, used to bring light into confusion and hope into despair. It is a gift for others, a way to serve and guide those around you with truth and integrity. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where the right path seemed unclear, yet an inner understanding guided you toward the best choice? That is the power of divine wisdom at work. It is not something you can conjure up on your own, but something that comes only through a deep relationship with God. When you seek God's guidance, He illuminates your path, helping you make decisions that reflect His truth, justice, and mercy. Wisdom requires humility because it acknowledges that true understanding comes only from God. By humbling yourself before Him and seeking His direction, you open yourself to a deeper understanding that goes beyond human knowledge. In embracing this gift of wisdom, you become a beacon of discernment, a voice of truth in a world often clouded by doubt and deception. Wisdom helps you see the world as God sees it, with clarity and compassion. It equips you to make decisions that honor God and benefit others, to speak words that bring peace, and to lead with righteousness. As you grow in wisdom, you reflect God's truth more clearly and become a powerful influence for good in the world. The power of resilience is one of the most profound gifts that God bestows upon His chosen ones. It is a divine strength that enables you to rise above life's most difficult challenges and emerge stronger than ever before. Resilience is not simply the ability to endure hardship, but it is the extraordinary capacity to transform adversity into growth. It allows you to turn pain into purpose, to see beyond the current struggle, and recognize the potential for personal and spiritual growth. When life throws obstacles in your path, it is resilience that enables you to maintain faith, knowing that each trial is an opportunity for refinement. Consider the example of Job, a man who endured unimaginable losses: his wealth, his health, and even his family. Despite these tremendous trials, Job never wavered in his faith. His story is a testament to the unwavering resilience that God instills in His children. This gift of resilience is not a passive one. It is a dynamic force that pushes you forward, reminding you that with God's strength, no challenge is insurmountable. The trials you face, though painful and difficult, are not barriers to your progress but stepping stones that guide you toward a deeper relationship with God and a greater sense of purpose. This power of resilience does not only benefit you, but it has the ability to inspire and uplift those around you. Have you ever noticed how your perseverance in the face of adversity encourages others? When people witness your ability to endure hardships with grace and faith, it becomes a beacon of hope. Your strength in moments of difficulty proves to others that they too can overcome. The resilience you exhibit becomes a powerful testimony, showing others that through God's strength, all things are possible. Moreover, resilience changes your perspective, allowing you to view life's obstacles not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and character building. With each challenge you overcome, your faith deepens and your character strengthens. The power of influence is another extraordinary gift that God grants you. Influence is not about exerting control or manipulating others. It is about leading with integrity, compassion, and purpose. Influence is the divine ability to guide others toward truth, to inspire them to reach their highest potential, and to motivate them to make choices that reflect God's love and wisdom. When you live with authenticity and faith, you become a living example of God's truth. Your actions, words, and character reflect the love of Christ and inspire others to live with purpose and conviction. Consider the profound influence of figures like Moses and Esther. Moses led an entire nation out of bondage, while Esther's courage saved her people from destruction. These leaders were not driven by personal ambition, but by a deep sense of purpose and a commitment to God's will. Their influence did not come from position or power, but from their unwavering faith and devotion to God's plan. Likewise, your influence when aligned with God's will can have a transformative impact on those around you. Whether through a word of encouragement, a simple act of kindness, or the way you live your life, your influence can ripple through the lives of others, creating change and healing in ways that you may never fully comprehend. Your influence extends beyond mere words or actions. It is seen in your character and the example you set for others. People are naturally drawn to individuals who live with authenticity and faith. When you reflect God's love and wisdom in your life, others will see the light that shines through you, and they will be inspired to live in a similar way. Consider how even a small act of kindness can transform someone's day, or how a word of encouragement can provide the strength someone needs to continue their journey. This is the power of influence, a divine force that has the ability to multiply your impact, to heal hearts, and to inspire others to walk in God's truth. Faith also has a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own life, inspiring others to trust in God's plan for them. When people see your steadfast belief in the face of adversity, they are encouraged to deepen their own faith. Your belief becomes a beacon that guides others toward God's presence, helping them realize that even in the darkest moments they are never alone. Faith, love, and wisdom together create a powerful and harmonious triad that equips you to fulfill your divine purpose. Faith sustains you through life's most difficult challenges. Love connects you with others on a deep and transformative level, and wisdom guides you in making choices that align with God's will. These gifts, love, wisdom, and faith, are not meant to be kept to yourself, but to be shared generously with others. As you walk in love, guided by wisdom and anchored in faith, you become a living testament to God's grace and purpose. Through your actions, your words, and your example, you reflect the divine gifts that God has placed within you, and you become a vessel for His love, healing, and restoration in the world. Resilience, influence, and healing are three of the most dynamic gifts that God gives to His chosen ones. These gifts are not mere blessings, they are sacred tools designed to help you overcome adversity, guide others, and bring healing to a broken world. Each of these gifts plays a pivotal role in shaping your life and in impacting the lives of those around you. Resilience enables you to withstand the storms of life. Influence allows you to lead others with integrity and purpose, and healing empowers you to bring peace and restoration to those who are hurting, whether physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Healing, perhaps one of the most compassionate gifts, empowers you to bring restoration to broken and hurting lives. Healing is not just about curing physical ailments, it is about bringing wholeness and peace to those who are emotionally and spiritually wounded. It is the divine ability to restore what has been torn apart, to bring peace to the restless heart, and to provide hope to the hopeless. This gift reflects God's mercy and love, working through you to bring comfort and healing to others. The Bible is filled with stories of divine healing, from the miracles performed by the prophet Elijah to the ministry of Jesus, who healed the sick and brought restoration to countless lives. Each act of healing was a reminder of God's power to renew and transform, offering hope to those who were suffering. Testament to God's power and grace. Are you ready to fully embrace these gifts and use them to inspire, heal, and uplift those around you? The world desperately needs the light, love, and healing that God has placed within you. By embracing these gifts and using them to guide others, you step into the fullness of your calling. You become a beacon of hope, a source of encouragement, and a living testament to God's grace in a world that is in desperate need of His healing touch. Through resilience, influence, and healing, you become a powerful force for good, bringing light to dark places and restoring hope where it has been lost. As a chosen child of God, you are a vessel of divine healing, entrusted with the sacred responsibility to comfort the broken, offer hope to the despairing, and bring peace to those in turmoil. Have you ever found yourself standing by someone in their moment of pain, offering not just words but the gift of listening, or perhaps praying for their healing and witnessing the grace of God at work? These moments, though they may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, carry profound meaning and reflect the divine presence of God, healing the hearts and souls of those around you. The healing you offer transcends physical recovery. It touches the very essence of human suffering, bringing restoration to the weary, hope to the hopeless, and light to the darkest of situations. In the Christian faith, healing is not just an act of compassion, it is a divine gift that works both ways. Just as you extend God's healing to others, you too are healed, your faith deepened, and your heart restored. This reciprocal nature of healing highlights its divine origin. It is a constant reminder that you are not merely an instrument of God's grace, but also a recipient of His boundless mercy. When we heal, we are not only fulfilling God's purpose for our lives, but we are also being transformed by His love. As the Apostle Paul writes, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God." Ephesians 2 verse 8. Healing, then, is a reminder that every act of kindness and mercy flows from God's grace, and we are empowered to share it with the world. The divine gifts of courage and love are the cornerstones of healing and restoration. Courage is not simply the absence of fear, but the strength to step forward in faith, knowing that God's presence goes before you. In the Bible, we are reminded that the Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? Psalm 27 verse 1. This courage is not our own, it is God's divine empowerment, allowing us to face life's challenges with unshakable trust in His plan. Just as David stood before Goliath with nothing but faith, we too are called to stand firm in the face of adversity, knowing that God will equip us to overcome. Our courage becomes a beacon of hope, a testament to God's power working within us, encouraging others to confront their own fears. However, courage without love is incomplete. Love is the greatest of all gifts, the foundation upon which all other virtues are built. God is love, and through love, we reflect his heart to the world. Jesus Christ exemplified this love, offering himself as a sacrifice for all, showing us that love is not just a feeling but an active force that heals and unites. In 1 Corinthians 13 verse 13, we are reminded that so now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. Love transforms, lives, it breaks down barriers, heals wounds, and creates connections that bind us together as one body in Christ. Your love is a reflection of God's love, and it is through this love that you can bring healing to the world around you. Moreover, love compels us to forgive. Forgiveness, the ultimate expression of love, frees both the giver and the receiver from the chains of bitterness and resentment. As Jesus teaches in Matthew 18 verse 21-22, we are called to forgive 77 times, emphasizing that forgiveness is not a one-time act, but a continual choice to extend God's mercy. Forgiveness opens the door to reconciliation and peace, both with others and with God. It is a reminder that as we forgive, we are also forgiven by God, who, in his mercy, has forgiven us all our transgressions. As you step into your divine calling, remember that healing, courage, and love are not just for your personal growth, but for the restoration of the world around you. These gifts equip you to fulfill your divine purpose, guiding others back to God's embrace. Through your acts of healing, the courage to stand firm in faith, and the love that transforms, you become a living testament to God's presence, his mercy, and his boundless grace. Your life becomes a beacon of hope, reflecting God's glory to a world in desperate need of his healing touch. Step forward in faith, and watch as God's plan unfolds through you, bringing light, hope, and transformation to all those you encounter. In life, courage and love are gifts that empower us to live fully, yet they require a deep trust in God's timing and purpose. As Christians, we understand that courage is not merely about facing challenges with boldness, but about trusting that God's plan is unfolding in our lives, even when fear and uncertainty loom. Similarly, love, true, sacrificial love, is the guiding force that steers our actions toward others, especially when it feels hard or unreciprocated. These two qualities, when nurtured in the light of faith, serve not only to enrich our lives but to reflect God's love and power to those around us. Jesus teaches us in the Gospel of John, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." John 15 verse 12. Love, when rooted in the divine, transcends human limitations, allowing us to act with compassion and kindness despite challenges. Courage is necessary when we face the storms of life, but we also must remember that God is sovereign over all. In 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, Paul reminds us, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear but of power and love and self-control." This power is not from us, it comes from God, empowering us to act in his will with bravery and grace. It is the courage to step out in faith, to trust that God's plan for us is good, even when it is not clear. Similarly, love drives us to serve others selflessly, reflecting Christ's sacrificial love on the cross. It is love that compels us to see beyond ourselves and to act for the benefit of others, even when it is difficult. The divine synergy of courage and love can transform not only our own lives, but also the world around us. As we trust in God's providence, we step into our divine calling. This is where the gifts of wisdom and faith become invaluable. Wisdom, the ability to see beyond the surface, helps us navigate life's complexities with clarity. It is a gift that allows us to discern God's will, especially when decisions seem unclear or when circumstances seem to demand hasty action. King Solomon, known for his wisdom, provides an excellent example. When faced with a tough decision about two women claiming to be the mother of the same child, Solomon's wisdom revealed the truth and brought peace. 1 Kings 3 verse 1628. This gift of divine wisdom is available to us as well. not to merely solve problems but to understand God's heart and His will for our lives. Faith, however, is the foundation upon which all gifts are built. Without faith, wisdom can become mere knowledge, and courage can become empty action. Faith anchors us in the belief that God's plan is good and that He is leading us through every challenge. Hebrews 11 verse 1 defines faith as the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. It is the belief that even when we cannot see the full picture, God's hand is guiding us, and His promises are sure. Abraham's faith exemplifies this, as he trusted God's call to leave his home and journey into the unknown, not knowing where he was going, yet believing in God's promises. Hebrews 11 verse 8. In our own lives, faith may lead us through moments of doubt and uncertainty, but it also empowers us to trust in God's perfect timing. It is in these moments of waiting that we experience the fullness of God's plan. Faith allows us to see beyond the immediate challenges and trust that God is working everything together for good, even when we cannot yet see the outcome. Romans 8 verse 28 assures us that we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Courage, love, wisdom, and faith are not just gifts to be hoarded, they are meant to be shared with others. When we live by these gifts, we become reflections of God's light in a dark world, inspiring those around us to trust in His promises and embrace His love. As we step out in faith, acting with wisdom and courage, and loving without condition, we fulfill the divine purpose for which we were created, becoming vessels of God's grace and agents of transformation in the world. Through these gifts, we become a living testament to God's presence, a beacon of hope, and a reflection of His eternal love. In life, wisdom and faith together form an unshakable foundation, allowing us to navigate the complexities of the world with confidence and clarity. Wisdom, a divine gift, helps us discern the path that God has set before us, illuminating our steps even when the future remains unclear. Faith, on the other hand, empowers us to trust in His plan, walking boldly forward despite the unknowns. These gifts are not solely for our personal benefit, but are intended to be shared with others. By living with wisdom and faith, we reflect the very nature of God, becoming conduits of His grace and truth in a world that is in desperate need of both. As we embrace these gifts, we not only strengthen our own lives, but also inspire and guide those around us to draw nearer to God. From a Christian perspective, wisdom and faith are intertwined with a deep sense of waiting and trust in God's divine timing. Scripture encourages us to seek wisdom with a humble heart, as it is through wisdom that we grow closer to God's will. Proverbs 3 verse 56 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. It is through this submission to God's wisdom that we gain clarity and direction. But it is faith that provides the strength to trust when the road ahead is unclear, to wait for God's perfect timing, and to hold on to the hope that His plan is always for our good. Romans 8 verse 28 assures us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Living a life steeped in wisdom and faith, we are not only called to walk in the light of God's truth, but we are also called to reflect His love. The power of love, as revealed in 1 John 4 verse 8, is the ultimate expression of God's presence within us. Whoever does not love does not know God. Because God is love, this love is not simply an emotion, but the essence of who God is. It is the force that unites, heals, and transforms both the giver and the receiver. When we allow God's love to flow through us, we become instruments of peace and reconciliation in a broken world. This love compels us to forgive, even when it is difficult, and to show compassion to those who may not deserve it by worldly standards. Jesus demonstrated this love perfectly through His actions and ultimate sacrifice on the cross, as He laid down His life for humanity's salvation. As believers, we are called to embody this love in our relationships, community, and even towards strangers. We are called to love those who are easy to love, but also those who challenge us, who hurt us, or even oppose us. Jesus commands us in Matthew 5 verse 44, "But I tell you, Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This divine love calls us to rise above our natural inclinations, extending grace to those who need it most. Coupled with this love is a profound sense of purpose that God has woven into the very fabric of our being. Living with purpose means aligning our lives with God's greater plan, understanding that every action and decision is a step toward fulfilling His divine will. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reassures us of God's perfect plan for our lives. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Purpose transforms our daily lives from mundane tasks into acts of worship and meaningful service. It gives us direction, allowing us to serve God and others in ways that align with His will. When we live with this sense of purpose, we find fulfillment not in worldly achievements, but in knowing that we are fulfilling the calling God has placed on our lives. This surrender to God's plan, as difficult as it may seem at times, is not a loss but a gain, for it frees us from the burden of striving for worldly success and brings us into alignment with eternal significance. Through purpose we become beacons of light in a dark world, showing others the way to God's love and truth. In embracing wisdom, faith, love, and purpose, we step into the fullness of our divine calling. As we do so, we become living testimonies of God's grace, inspiring those around us to seek His guidance and find their own purpose in His divine plan. Our lives, surrendered to Him, become a ripple effect of transformation, touching the lives of others and drawing them closer to His love and truth. In the Christian faith, love and purpose are not just abstract concepts, they are divine gifts that empower us to live boldly, authentically, and in alignment with God's will. Love, as exemplified in the teachings of Christ, is not a mere emotion, but a force that compels us to serve others and glorify God in all things. Purpose, on the other hand, is the guiding star that helps us navigate life's trials and triumphs. Together, love and purpose provide the strength to endure hardships, the wisdom to make decisions that honor God, and the courage to step into unknown territories with unwavering faith. In the midst of life's uncertainties, we are called to wait with hope, trusting in God's perfect plan. Proverbs 3 verse 56 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Our purpose in life is not always immediately clear, and there are times when we must wait, trusting that God is working behind the scenes, shaping us into the people He has destined us to be. Even in waiting, we find strength through our faith, knowing that God is faithful to complete the work He has begun in us. Philippians 1 verse 6. As we reflect on the gifts that God has entrusted to us, vision, resilience, wisdom, influence, courage, healing, and love, let us remember that these are not simply personal attributes. They are divine tools, woven together by God's plan to equip us for the extraordinary life He calls us to live. Each of these gifts is interconnected, strengthening one another to create a life that reflects God's glory. These gifts are not burdens, they are blessings, and their purpose is to bring God's kingdom closer to earth. 1 Peter 4 verse 1011 encourages us, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. The love and purpose that God has placed within us are meant to be shared with the world. They are not for our benefit alone, but for the benefit of others, to bring light to those living in darkness, hope to the hopeless, and healing to the brokenhearted. As we live out our calling, we are invited to become instruments of God's love and grace. Matthew 5 verse 1416 says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Are you ready to embrace the fullness of these gifts? To live a life that radiates love, fulfills your divine purpose, and leaves a lasting impact on the world? When we walk in the power of these gifts, we are not only fulfilling God's will, but also helping to bring His kingdom closer to earth. Your life is a reflection of His glory, a testament to His love, and a light that guides others to Him. You are chosen, equipped, and deeply loved. As you step boldly into your calling, remember that the world needs what only you can bring: your unique gifts, your love, and your purpose. Step forward in faith, trusting that God's plan for you is greater than anything you can imagine. As Romans 8 verse 28 promises, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Embrace your calling and let your life be a reflection of His eternal love and grace.